battery so fast. Alright, what's up, what's up, what's up? Finally back to some more Higurashi. It has been a fat minute. I apologize about that. So let's see. What I remember last. Fuck. So we did learn about the village's history and the past and all that stuff, and with like the villagers. The festival happened. We had gone to that shrine and all that stuff. I think it was Tomitake and Takano-san who we were with. But yeah. And then I think they had found Takano-san dead, burned to a crisp, I think. Yeah. As y'all know by now, my memory is quite shit. So, that's the extent. Oh yeah, we had been on a date with, Shion. So, and then, yeah, oh yeah. I had to cut it short because of stupid stutter shit that was going on. I always hate it when that happens. Anyways, let's hop back into it. Oh yeah, we learned that the Sonozakis are like basically like the Yakuza of this area. They control this region or something like that, like this area. Like they're in a very powerful family. But yeah. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hidemizawa to Okinomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is its successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Great recap! Cool. Still, that's all? That's the only reason they're suspecting her? I'm just doing my job here. No, not to doubt Mion-san or of anything, but to clear up suspicions surrounding her. Please think of it like that. You could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He was the definition of a shrewd, unfair adult. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence I'd met him. Oishi-san, do you need something from me? Yes, I do. Keiichi Marabata. He answered in an absent tone of voice. Mion's being suspected of something, and you came here to hear from a friend of hers. Me. Is that it? No, that's not it. Or that isn't it. I didn't come to talk to a friend of Mion Sonozaki. I came here to talk to Keiichi Marabata-san. It would probably have bothered you had I visited your house. To me? What do the police want with me? Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul. You don't need to be so tense. Calm down and just answer a few questions. Am I being questioned? Let's call it a chat with the guy that you happen to run into. Oishi-san freely suggested that I relax. That said, behind his eyes was a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me into an interrogation room or something. That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought. You had a roaring good time at the Watanagashi Festival last night, didn't you? Don't beat around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now. Last night during the festival. Did you see Jiro Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san? Gulp. I could plainly feel myself giving a start. Where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are. He opened a small notebook and removed the 2 photographs. I didn't have to look. Well, who knows? I might have seen them around, I don't remember. I was asked the same question for the 2nd time today. I gave the same answer for the 2nd time, too. Okay, hold up. Let me do this. You couldn't have possibly been drinking or anything. Here, too. I got the same answer I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me? The same thing as Mion did. The dark feeling I had nearly fuck. The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it. I'll ask you again. Did you see Jiro Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san at the festival last night? What's up with that face of looking like he's screaming at us? His tone was soft. There was a dreadfulness in his voice. Clearly different from the first time he'd ask. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit I had. I see. I just thought that maybe I'd get a different answer if I'd ask a 2nd time. I'm too scared to look at Oishi's in the eyes. I'll change the question. Come, Mayabara. Relax, relax. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them, as if trying to give me a massage. It mostly just hurt, though. Still. Why? Why would he ask the same thing as Mion? Wait. If he's asking the same things, then the next question must be... Your next line will be... On the same night of the festival, did you see Shion Sonozaki-san? Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wonder what that sound was. And when I looked down, I saw that it was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it. Sorry. I may have seen her, but, well, you know, she looks just like Mion. I might have just mistaken the two. No, but that can't be. Suddenly, Oishi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I wanted to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion-san and Shion-san wear completely different clothing. There we go. You wouldn't mistake the two so easily, I would think. Mayabara-san. His voice was harsh. Harsh. The same way, or the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. Why? Why are Mion and Oishi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking into the storehouse so bad? Ugh. I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomitaka-san casually said to check it out too, so... Even Shion. If she hadn't encouraged me... No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into the forbidden storehouse. Okay, hold on. Oishi-san. I think that's our cue to get out of here. A young man wearing a suit came into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Oishi-san's subordinate. Oh, so it is. Closing time already? I hadn't realized it until he had said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed had started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed, that I couldn't even hear it. Well then, Maebara-kun. We're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'd like to talk to you with more about this at your leisure, when we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi-san followed his subordinates and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around. Oh, right, Maebara-san. What? What is it? Those two questions I asked you before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them correct. Or, wait. Those two questions I asked you before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? Right. Just so you know. You saw them all yesterday. You were walking along, the four of you, having quite a pleasant time. Near the stone steps. I saw you with my own eyes. What? Okay. I caught my breath. My heart seemed like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. Ah, fuck you, Mike. He knew. And he was testing me. We'll meet again. Have a good year. I sat there like a rock, unmoving, until I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. You know what I need to do real fast. My neck needs to pop, but it won't. I was on my way back home. The cries of the higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening. More time had passed than I had thought. The orange of the dusk sky was being chased down, little by little, by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, even without noticing, I had gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. I don't understand any of this. No one had told me to my face that I had done something wrong. No. In fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. It was really no more than a quiet prank. No more than having the courage to cross at a red light as long as he did it with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements. Hallowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priests. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. I didn't make the wrong I had committed any more right. The four of us did. Or what the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? It doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Oishi-san. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again. Ever. Yeah, sure. Seriously, my neck needs to fucking pop. I like the sound of the higurashi though. I won't ever do something like that again, either. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I apologize like that, they forgive me? The suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. Fucking hell. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home, to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day. Now that I've made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained pace. The wind was cutting mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly punishing me. I don't know how to read. I don't know if anybody's learned that yet, but yeah, I don't know how to read. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Keiichi! You have a call! It's from Sonozaki-san. Sonozaki? Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She'd had something she wanted to tell me today. Oishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call me tonight. Hello? Is that you, Shion? Hello. Ran into a bit of trouble today, didn't we? She said it so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run away with me, didn't I? You just sat there looking dazed, Kei-chan. I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that I had to put up with that Oishi guy for ages. Don't complain to me about it. I can't believe she passed it off like that. Looks like she looks just like Mion, yet inside she's this different. Got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was, somewhere in my mind, hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person. For shame. Sorry. Next time I'll run away first thing and leave you there. Hey, it's ladies first. Shion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of my temper was because The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be... Anyway, you had something to tell me, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? Shion lowered her voice suddenly, as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know. Sorry, but I got no clue what you're talking about. At least give me a hint. So that means you don't know. She seemed to take my stupid-sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about last night, during the Wakata Nagashi festival. My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask the same thing? Hello? Kei-chan, are you listening? Yeah. I am. What about last night? The four of us went in there, right? She didn't beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual, honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. Then after that, we walked away together, and then we went our separate ways near the stone stairs, right? Takano-san and Tomitaka-san went to the stream, and you stayed there, Kei-chan. I went over to see some relatives. Yeah? Why do you ask? We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions. So let me ask this question first. Okay? You mean, did I see Tomitaka-san and Takano-san last night? Huh? Oh, yeah. Did you see the two of them after that? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? Or why? Why? What the hell is going on? Why? Why are you asking me that? No, Kei-chan. I'm asking the question. Please answer me. Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer. My shabby response betrayed how scared and small I felt now, after everything that had happened today. Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered me. Of course I didn't see them. My relatives were with me, and they can vouch for that. I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me too, like Mion, Rena, and everyone else. Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh and sounded more relieved than anything else. Thank you for answering me honestly. Okay, then I'll tell you. Apparently last night Takano-san and Tomitaka-san died. Sorry, Shion. Oh, what was that you just said? Apparently last night, Takano-san and Tobitaka-san died. Oh, okay, that was the first time that actually ever gave me chills. I don't know if it's because, like, I've got it louder, maybe? But, like, that scratch. Ooh. Although, it wasn't, like, a bad chills. It was, like, pleasant chills? If that makes any sense? I don't know. Ah, fuck. Why must there always be something in my eye? Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomitaka-san was, well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my dad talking to a relative on the phone about it. Late last night, a police car on its way back from the festival security duty had discovered Tomitaka-san lying in the middle of the road, heading towards Okinomiya. He had clawed out his throat and died. What? He clawed out his own throat? That bright, cheerful Tomitaka-san committed suicide? That can't possibly be right. Apparently this guy hasn't seen Doki Doki. Hey, what's up, Dyer? What's up? How you doing? The police did an autopsy. He did it with his own fingernails. He scratched out his throat so hard that he ruptured his blood vessels and bled out. He died in the pool of his own blood. That's what they said. I've never heard of such an insane suicide. You can't just scratch out your own throat like that. I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my words. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and ran up to my own room. Sorry for yelling. So? Was Takano-san... was that a suicide too? Fuck hiccups. In her case, it's a little unclear. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police that late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded that it was the burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after, there was a request for a dental comparison from the blank prefectural police station in Okinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. Yeah. Cool. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments, and her clothes were nowhere in the area. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's possible she had burned herself to death. It couldn't be possible. It couldn't possibly have been a suicide. If you're going to die, there are plenty of easier ways, aren't there? It can't be suicide. That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Tomitaka-san would kill himself too. After the two of us rattled on at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. And as we calmed our nerves, right then, I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it will end up being Oyashiro-sama's curse. We all did more than enough to to deserve it after all. Deserve it? You've got to be kidding. It's not like Shion wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come of blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost to my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault and no one else's. Shion, last night, when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Of course not. I mean, I thought it was a pretty risky, but I'd never dreamed something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if we were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Kei-chan, think about it for a moment. Didn't Oyashiro-sama's curse turn out a little strange this year? It was already plenty strange, seeing as how Tomitaka-san and Takano-san died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger? I mean that they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, every other year, one person would die, and one person would disappear. Yeah. That's why I was kind of confused when they first brought up that Takano-san's dead corpse of like burnt and stuff. Because in the first game, we had just found, or we only knew about Tomitaka's. So I don't recall them saying anything before this that he was dead too. So I was wondering if like they had switched it, where she was the one found dead and he had been onikakushi'd, demoned away. But I guess no, they have found 2 corpses this time. Huh, I wonder why it's different. This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead. That may be true, but that's not a huge deal, is it? It is, Kei-chan. Think about it harder. Listen. If 2 people died because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, then in order to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger, 2 people would have to be sacrificed. Is that how it works? So what? Tomitaka-san and Takano-san died, so now 2 people are going to go missing this year? I don't understand why, but when I said that, I felt my spine freeze. I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think that those 2 people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, is obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her back. 2 people have yet to disappear. Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap it into a fist around my heart. Cold hands feeling onto my chest, or feeling about on my chest. Yeah, that's pretty bad. 2 people? It's 2 prime candidates, huh? And they are currently on a phone call with each other.
Stretch.
Fuck, I kind of want to take a nap. Fucking hell. But I can't. God, my sleep's so fucked now. Also, I'm hungry. Tomitaka-san opened the lock, and he died. Takano-san exposed the ritual storehouse, and she died. If 2 more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be None other than the ones who entered them with them. None other than us. No. This has... This has to be a joke. I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now. That, though, was such an incredibly and difficult and selfish request. If Tomitaka-san and Takana-san had died in the common way like a car accident, I could tell myself it was coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil in the mountains. The two deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as a mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual house, there must be someone punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. Fuck. I don't want to cut this stream short, though. But at this point, I'm about to take a fucking nap. Right here and now. God, why? God, why am I getting so tired when it's time to stream now? Fuck. Come on, fucking wake up already. God. That's why I argued against it. I argued, knowing I was running away. In the first place, it's not even in the newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the news on television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking it'd be for an interesting story. Of course, it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past too. When the incidents occurred for the third year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy, where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked into the media. I hear the elders and the top brass from the Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. Then, you mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy? That's how it is. Of course, the police are investigating it too. That's being performed in secret too, though. So I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what they can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation. The story was unbelievable. People died, and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of the Watt Nagashi, it won't go public. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. Kei-chan, before I said how the villagers could be the one carrying out the Oyashiro-sama's curse, that's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa. Every year, or wherever year, you're allowed to kill someone on the night of the Watt Nagashi under the guise of it being Oyashiro-sama's curse. When someone dies on the Watt Nagashi, it turns into the curse of Oyashiro. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma around Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret. That's insane. Dead and missing people turn up every year. However bad the stigma gets, the police have to draw the line somewhere, don't they? You could say the incidents happening every year is mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidents always get resolved individually. It doesn't end up being a string of incidents, you know? It just so happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of Watsunagashi every year. That's all it turns into. Fuck. I slept for 12 hours. Why I shouldn't be fucking tired? Well, I guess I've been up for another 14 hours. 16 hours. Ugh. Just finish this chapter. It'll be okay. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get and stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated? I don't know. Elucidated? So it was, in essence, resolved. The damn supporting couple who died in an accident on the second year. That was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide. But they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed. They all had trustworthy medical certifications. They even did an autopsy. They concluded that it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. On the fourth year, the sister-in-law of the damn supporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought that Oyashiro-sama's curse was so interesting he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while imprisoned, so this incident was essentially resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved. So then, why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year on the Watsunagashi? You can try to say it's a string of related incidents, but they're not related. Yet, every year, someone dies, and someone always disappears. The story Takano-san told me on the day before The story Takano-san told me on the day before during the setup. Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off. Then, does that mean it'll come for us too? Just like how one person dies and one disappears every year? Are you saying we'll be taken along with Tomitaka-san and Takano-san and erased too? And erased too? My lips had at some point become completely dry. And just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give. Ugh, fuck. I mean, sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have. But we were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything or take anything out, and we didn't tell anyone that we looked in, right? I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomitaki-san and Takano-san deserved such cruel deaths? Besides, I didn't care about anything I saw in there at all. Takano-san was the only one getting so happy over it, wasn't she? Takano-san was the only one at fault. I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested. I'm not involved. I don't give a shit about what was in there. I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them anymore. I didn't have any interest in this, or I didn't have any interest in any form of the start, or from the start, damn it. All I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance. You were there. You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion? I don't give a rat's ass whether those two were trying to steal something or try to meet up secretly or whatever. That's right. You were the one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion. You were all, Kei-chan, you need to see what's inside. And you convinced me and then pulled me in. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this? Huh? Hey, are you listening? Click. Oh, she hung up on us? Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Yeah, sure. I just want something to eat, go to sleep. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things. My riled up emotions disappeared as if they'd never existed, and in their place surged waves of deep regret at having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I tried to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I went to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. What you could do is be like, yo, can you give me your sister's digits? I'm trying to hit that. You know? I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand, and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion. Calm down, and call me again. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? This is Maibara. I swept up the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at that exact moment. Is this the Maibara residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? It was the voice of a middle-aged man. All my hopes rushed out of me. No, it isn't. If you need Dad, I'll go call him. I went to put up the receiver back down, but the man stopped me hurriedly. No. Oh, no. If he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but this is my old man paying you a visit? Huh? Oh, is my old man paying you a visit? No, nobody's here at the moment. Ah, I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye. Clack. What? Huh. I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried to call while I was talking to him? I thought, bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Kage Yamabata. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we had our conversation, and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Kage Yamabata. If Shion does call again, then first apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. I will do these tips, and then, yeah, I need to head out. Either to just... If I get something to eat, and then I'm, like, wide awake again, I can try again. But otherwise, I may just take a nap. Scrapbook 6. Fuck. The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about the explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onagafuchi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit. But it said that the festival, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I'd thought that the residents of Onagafuchi village were fascinated by the Watanagashi ritual. They looked down on those vulgar barbaric humans, cut them up like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. At least that's what I thought. However, if what the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination, but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's the possibility that the executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Onagafuchi village has been effectively ruled over by three old families, called the Three Families. Without investigating the three families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onagafuchi village. Okay. From Scrapbook 7. The Three Families. The Three Families refer to the three old families who effectively came to rule Onagafuchi village. To break it down, there was the Kimiyoshi family, the Furude family, and the Sonizaki family, and each of them still exists today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The three families are considered by legends to be those in whom the demon of the swamp demons, or the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the three families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Yoshiichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. The fact that members from the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidate appeared, it. Oh, of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office even through popular elections in the post-war era. Furude family. The center of the village's faith since ancient times, the Furude clan has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Oyashiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house, as well, presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude, so the lineage may end in this generation. There is apparently an old tradition of honoring females of the Furude family, so the only daughter, Rika, is a subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Sonozaki family. It's said that this family had a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of the Onigafuchi village. Of the three families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the three families is completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old ways. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryo, yeah, essentially decides all of the goings-on in the village by herself. Alright, late night phone call. Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, see you. I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if your old man was visiting you at the moment. I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if our old man was visiting you at this moment. You've got that right. Yes. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling so late. Goodbye. Click. So? No good? I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always at least gives us a call. You called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? Bring. Hello? This is Kimiyoshi. This is Sonozaki. How did it go? Have you found the mayor? Oh, Mion-chan. I called everyone I could think of, but I came up with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about? I put a word in to a bunch of people who might have an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said we should get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Watsunagashi just happened. She thinks we should be a little bit more cautious. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Ryo said that? Yes. If you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then I can put her on the phone for you. No, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we will notify the police in the morning. She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well, as Nana's representative. Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, God damn. I feel bad for cutting it so short. Ugh. As soon as I get my sleep under wrap, I promise it will go back to normal and I'll be fine. But please hang tight with me, okay? It's definitely a struggle. Um, but yeah, I'll just save over this because I like the yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, things are starting to heat up. All right, well, peace out, y'all, motherfuckers. Again, I'm gonna grab something to eat. Hopefully that wakes me up. If not, I'm gonna just take a nap and catch y'all tomorrow for more clarinet in the morning. But yeah, all right. See ya and have a good day.